Good morning. Welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Thursday, June 25th. Okay, let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps, which are trading higher this morning. We're actually up 0.62%, which is positive. And really, it's the semiconductors and AI stocks that are leading the gains this morning following Micron's positive earnings announcement. It's really lifting the sentiment. In addition, you got oil prices, which continue to weaken, mainly due to the fact that there's some confidence in this peace agreement actually holding. Then there's a Fed stress test, which showed that the banks, the large U.S. banks, are well positioned to handle a severe downturn in the economy. And in economic news today, we get the PCE data coming out. That's the inflation report. That's a key report. And there's additional economic reports also due out this morning, all before the bell. In corporate news, IBM unveiled a major semiconductor breakthrough with its sub-1 nanometer chip technology. Qualcomm came out. They had that analyst meeting yesterday that I told you about. Well, guess what? They announced that for 2029, non-headset revenue view of $40 billion. Morgan Stanley authorized a $20 billion share buyback. J.P. Morgan approved a $50 billion share buyback. Anthropic accused Alibaba of illicitly scraping its Claude AI models. On the corporate calendar today, hey, we got a bunch of shareholders meetings. Lululemon, Kroger, Dell Technologies, Health Equities, Marvel Technologies, and Box are all having shareholders meetings today. On the earnings front, Micron's higher. Trip.com is trading lower after their earnings releases. Taking a look overseas and seeing what the global markets are doing. You got to start off with the DAX, and the DAX is trading higher. It's up 0.53%. Nice to see, and it's led by gains in automotive and technology stocks. The FTSE's higher by 0.44% or 45 points, led by strength in financials and tech shares. And in France, the CAC is up 0.49%. I mean, France's consumer confidence indicator rose to 84 in June. It was 82 in May, so that improving is really ahead of what the market was expecting. So that's very positive for French stocks. Then we take a look at the Asian markets last night, and the Nikkei just had a stellar day. It was up 4.61% or 3,191 points. It's benefiting from a weaker yen and strong performance in AI-related and tech stocks. Hong Kong, on the other hand, fell 1.43%. I mean, tech was marginally higher, but there was weakness in materials, retail, and real estate stocks. That just weighed on the broader market. In China, the Shanghai finished higher by 0.23%. The sentiment was positive surrounding AI and semiconductors, and they have a potential listing of a bunch of IPOs, which is helping, cause that market to continue to gain. Then we took a look at oil prices this morning. Oil prices are weaker. We got WTI at $69.72 a barrel. I haven't said 69 in months. Brent crude is trading $72.98, down 1.03%. These losses, fourth consecutive session, potential supply disruptions are diminishing. The EIA did come out with their oil stockpiles report yesterday, and they showed that stockpiles fell by 6.1 million barrels for the week ending June 9th. That was larger than the 4.1 million barrel draw that was expected. Okay, let's move on and let's talk about earnings news. And we got to start off with Micron, ticker MU, which is seeing strong gains this morning as the stock is up over 17%, 17.50% this morning. They beat by $4.83 on higher revenue. And let's talk about McCormick, MKC. MKC is trading higher this morning after their earnings report, which, they beat by 10 cents. They did it on higher revenue, and, that's causing the stock to gain this morning. We're talking, what are we seeing the stock at? I saw it trading 49 earlier today, so that's positive. Okay, let's move on and let's talk about the upcoming earnings events. There's that new FedEx spinoff FDXC out this afternoon. Don't have any data on it yet. It's a new spinoff. Let's talk about economic reports coming out today. We get the PCE report, the inflation report coming out at 8:30 a.m. Market's a little cautious on this one. Durable goods orders is also out at 8:30. GDP numbers are out at 8:30. And, of course, we've got jobless claims coming out at 8:30 a.m. In terms of Fed speak, at 3:40 p.m., we're going to hear from New York Fed Bank President John Williams. At 6:30 p.m., we're going to hear from Chicago Fed Bank President Austin Goolsbee, as he will also be speaking. Let's talk about some news hitting the tape this morning. Amazon, Microsoft, EU regulators are saying that cloud services, and these guys are the leader in the cloud services, should be designated under the DMA, Digital Service Market Act. Not good for those guys. Google, Alphabet shares are falling in the pre-market. AI talent exodus continues. There's a lot of flippage going around in that sector, so I'm not really too concerned, but we are seeing some weakness due to those headlines. Meta, Qualcomm's Dragonfly C1000 CPU is going to be in production starting in the second half of 2028, and Meta is going to be their first customer. Interesting. Okay, let's talk about news on Dow 30. IBM debuts the world's first sub-1 nanometer chip technology. Very positive. You look at the shares of IBM, and it's up $9 already this morning. Bank stocks are positive. JP Morgan announced a 50 billion share buyback. Goldman Sachs announced a dividend increase, all after passing the Fed stress test. And Amazon's planning to expand their Amazon Now to over 300 cities in India. This is for ultra-fast delivery. Merger news, Qualcomm is acquiring AI software firm Modular. Guidance news, Micron sees Q4 EPS coming in $30 to $32. Street estimate is $24.80. Wow, that's a big uptake. McCormick backs their full year 2026 adjusted EPS outlook of $3.05 to $3.13. Street estimate has it at $3.09. That's fair. Shareholders meetings, Lululemon, Kroger, Dell Technologies, Health Equity, Marvel Technologies, Box, all having shareholders meetings today. Buyback I told you about the JP Morgan 50 billion share buyback, but Morgan Stanley's board authorized a 20 billion share buyback. In terms of catalyst calls, lower holdings at ticker LOAR, Larry, Oscar, Apple, Richard. Citibank opened up a 90-day catalyst watch into earnings, and they raised their price target to 87 from 71. Keep an eye on that one. Let's talk about today's pick of the day, and I'm going to go with Moderna, mRNA, Michael, Richard, Nancy, Alpha. Stocks are in a little lower this morning, but that's okay. They have an event going on today where they're going to be giving analysts updates to their pipelines for analysts and investors, and I think there could be something positive coming out of that. The call volume yesterday was 24,595 calls versus 12,353 on the put side. That's a 0.51 put-to-call ratio. That's a sweet spot. Open interest, 290K to 237K. That's positive. Brokers are raising price targets on it. Stock's elevated, but they are raising price targets. I mean, I'm expecting to see some weakness here, in the morning, and I'm hoping to get in under 59. I'm going to say 58.75, but I do think this thing can turn, and that we're going to see some positive comments out later in the day on Moderna mRNA. So that's my pick of the day. Okay, let's talk about the stocks that are hitting the tape this morning, see if we see anything exciting. Eli Lilly announces more details of its Medicare GLP-1 bridge program. Carter signed a CRI. They signed a multi-year partnership with WNBA team Atlanta Dream. Honeywell's power bank construction solar project in upstate New York begins operation. Dollar Tree, DLTR, announced a secondary block trade by selling stockholders. Interesting. They had a big run-up yesterday. Darden raises their quarterly dividend. They announced positive earnings this morning. Lockheed Martin got a contract from the Air Force, contract modification. RTX was awarded an Air Force contract action. Lockheed Martin, LMT, awarded a $8.4 billion Army contract modification. Western Union's regulators showed no objections pending acquisition of Intramex. Gilead gets FDA approval for treatment of an aggressive form of breast cancer. And Alibaba, Anthropoid accused Alibaba of a large-scale campaign to access its AI capabilities. Not good. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to talk about yesterday's pick of the day, which was MKC, McCormick. This was a nice one. The stock opened up 48.13, fell to 47.22. I said low 47s, but then it closed at 47.60. And then, after earnings, the stock is trading higher. It's already hit a high of 49.51, trading 49 last. So, yeah, that definitely beats the opening price more than 1%. So, McCormick, MKC was a winner. Got to be happy with that. All right, traders, that concludes today's Trade Talk podcast. You guys know what to do. Let's go out there and let's make some green today.